Hey, today I'm just outside the shop on a beautiful day using my tailgate as a bench to prepare my motorcycle battery for service. Now, this is an absorbed glass mat battery, and the process to add the electrolyte to the lead acid batteries is very similar, practically the same. Both use a corrosive acid as an electrolyte, so I'm taking precaution by putting a trash bag down on my tailgate. You also want to use rubber or latex gloves and eye protection when you're dealing with these batteries. Make sure you're not near any open flame or spark or anything like that. Otherwise, you could have a possible explosion. That's pretty much all this information sheet is telling you is the safeties. It's not telling you how to add the electrolyte into the battery or put the cover on it and seal it. It doesn't have a lot of information in it. In addition to the instruction sheet, the battery also comes with new terminal bolts and nuts. This is a carefully packaged electrolyte. It is probably sulfuric acid. That's what lead acid batteries have in them. This is an absorbed glass mat battery, and it's just the only difference is instead of an airspace, it has a glass mat in it to make it more dense. The shipping label just seals the interior compartment so you don't get any debris or dust or whatnot in the battery as it's being shipped. So I'm going to take the outside plastic off this acid. Now, this is where you should be wearing gloves, in case any acid got spilled on the outside of the container while they're fitting it into the container. On the acid, it says "Do not open." That's kind of funny, but that's really the top cover of the battery, so it's really intended for you to read it when the battery is sealed. And at this point, you don't want to spill it on your bench or on the tailgate of my truck, and you want to use neoprene gloves to make sure you're not getting it on your hands. Of course, it's corrosive and will burn you. So take the protective cover off. That's going to go on the battery. And notice it's sealed, and you simply turn it upside down, insert it into the top of the battery, and notice how the top of the battery is angled here, so it'll help perforate the seal on the acid. And I'm also wearing safety glasses. And now it's just a race to see which cell fills with acid first. I wished all automotive batteries were shipped this way. They could sit on the shelf forever and still be like new when you get them. Now you got to worry about where you're buying your battery from and how long it's been sitting on the shelf. Now you just have to be patient and let the battery fill with acid. Just let it take its time. Don't spill it. Just let it go. It'll eventually get there and all drain into the battery. Just let it go. It'll take several minutes. Just let it drain naturally. Don't try to force it, otherwise you'll probably spill it. Unless you're really in a hurry and you really want to get on the road and get your bike going. But take your time and just let it drain. It's going to take all of the acid. You're not going to save any of it. Okay, I'm like you. I'm not that patient. As I'm waiting for the acid to flow into the battery, I'm going to get my battery charger ready. We need to put charge on the battery when it's new like this after adding the acid. And you're never supposed to put more than a 3 amp charge on it. So it takes a while to charge the battery, in 5 hours or so. There you can see it's just about there. And just let it go. Make sure it's all drained out before you pull it off, otherwise you'll make a mess. You might lose a little bit, so you want to make sure you have a paper towel handy. Okay, I shut the camera off for about 10 minutes. It's finally drained. I still have my safety glasses on and my gloves. Have some paper towel ready. Pull it off, and you can see I didn't get much. It's all drained out. And there's really nothing to wipe off. I believe this is reversible. It says do not open on it, but it doesn't really matter whether you put it on this way or that way. I'm going to put it on with the writing on the front this way. Simply push it on. And you want to make sure it's all the way seated. You're not taking it off again. Make sure it's all the way seated. It's not intended to come off again. It's not intended to add water to it. It's supposed to be maintenance free. Of course, you know how that is. And you watch my other video on batteries and battery maintenance and cleaning them. To get a long life out of this battery, you certainly could take it back out and attempt to see how much acid's in there and add some distilled water if you wish to. I prefer not to. If it's in that state, I'm just going to replace the battery. These are about $100, and I want to make sure that my battery is good. It's not like a car that you can pop the hood. It's hard to get the seat off to replace this battery. It's hard to jump start it. So I'm going to make sure I got a good battery in my bike. To me, it's worth it. Of course, now I'm going to charge it. My favorite little Black & Decker battery charger. Looks like it's been sitting out in the rain, maybe for the lawn tractor. Positive, negative. It's clearly marked on the battery. This charger, you always have to set battery type and then tell it whether you want 2, 10, or 25 amps. And I'm charging it slow at 2 amps. And this charger will tell me when it's full. It'll display FUL on the display right here. That's it. Just put it on the charger, and then once it's full, put it on the bike. It should be ready to go. Now that concludes this video. If you want to see it installed on a ZX-10R, be sure to watch that video. I'm also going to do another video installing this on my bike. But that takes care of this video. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and let me know in the comments. I look forward to your comments.